What's happening, Magnusites? So in the beginning of this video, I say what I think the next episode is going to have in it. And of course, I was wrong. Apparently, we're getting the DLC and we're getting Abby. At least that's what it looks like. Now, let the review continue. Woo!
What is happening, Magnus? I guess in the next episode we're gonna get us the lone Ellie, huh? I haven't watched any trailers or anything like that, or next time on The Last of Us. I haven't watched anything, so I'll watch that when I'm done doing the review. So this episode, for the people that I can see people that have never played the game really liking this episode, and I can see people that played the game really liking this episode. They changed a few things, but we got they didn't go to it. They didn't run into that dam with the turbines and all that stuff and running into Tommy. They were on their way to where they were going, and they got basically ambushed by these people. And as soon as I saw the people, I was like, okay, wait a minute. Like, as it was going, just for a split second, I was like, wait, this is probably Tommy's people. This is Tommy's people. And it's so funny too, because when you're watching shows with these type of elements in them, with certain elements in them, like, right away, like, it's so funny to me now, to where I'm starting to notice stuff and pick up and see stuff like before it happens. Like, so for example, when I went to see Ant-Man 3, afterwards, and I didn't even think to mention it in my review, like, people were like, yeah, man, it was woke, man. They're talking about socialism and all this other stuff. And then I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. It was just, in this episode, they were talking about communism. And as soon as it showed the strong, assertive, in control black woman, she didn't say nothing. I was like, that's Tommy's wife. I bet y'all that's Tommy's wife. Guess what? That's Tommy's wife. I knew they wasn't going to. It was funny because I was expecting to see Tommy and his wife like in the game, but it's like, no, you know what's going on, man. You know how they do shows now, especially this. So, while we all know this is a woke series, but it's a good series. We rarely get series like that. People told me before I watched The Boys, it was like, yo, it's woke, but yo, it's real good. And y'all was right. This is real good. So, they get taken in by them, and of course he runs into Tommy. They gave Tommy the slick back. But I think Tommy, he had like more of a beard or goatee, and they gave him a mustache in this one. And they weren't set up at the dam. They were set up out in the middle of nowhere, basically. But in the beginning of the show, they had run into this couple, this native couple. The guy really reminded me of some. I know I've seen him in stuff before. I'm not sure if I've seen the wife. She looked vaguely familiar too, and they were trying to. Of course, he's looking for Tommy, and he needed to know if he was in the right place or not. So he's basically threatening them to tell him where, where to go and everything. And it was funny too because the old man called Ellie. He called Ellie a little psycho. Foreshadowing? A lot of people are telling me that the psycho nature of her comes out in the second game, which I won't be playing, and you all know why. However, maybe I will be watching the second season of this because it's kind of interesting how they're doing things with this. They're like more in detail describing about how bad of a person Joel was. It's like they're setting us up maybe so that we don't feel as bad when they decide to take him out. Talking about how bad of a person he is. Like, even Tommy's wife is talking about that with Ellie in the show, and she's basically like, I'm smarter than Tommy, so that, you ain't got to worry about none of that. And Tommy did the same stuff too, because they had a little, you know, heart to heart moment while she was cutting Ellie's hair. But, like, and now Joel is also having heart problems, or he's having anxiety attacks or panic attacks or something like that, because he has a talk with Tommy in the show, and they're talking about how he's basically telling he wants to leave Ellie with him, just like in the game, but this one's way more emotional. Pedro Pascal gets his monologue moment. Ellie gets her monologue moment in this too, in this episode where she wants him to stay with her, of course. But yeah, they have that moment. He's talking about how it's like heart stops, or, like he keeps having these dreams, and he's afraid of failing Ellie. So he wants him to take her. And, they have an argument in that part. Remember, because before it happened differently in the dam, and he told him, you stepped to me again, it ain't going to end nice for you, or something like that. It was different. It was a different type of confrontation that him and Tommy have in this show. Ellie doesn't run off. She doesn't run off on the horse. You don't have to go get her and save her from that crew and all that stuff. That doesn't happen. So after she, of course, doesn't want him to go, want her to leave him with Tommy. When her and Tommy are going to leave, they find him in the stables, and he gives her a choice of whether she wants to go with Tommy or go with him. As soon as he says, I figured you should have a choice. She was like, all right, let's go. Like, she chose him immediately. That made me laugh out loud really hard. I was just like, yeah. I was like, well, there it is. It's settled. She wants you, Joel. So you take care of her. You get whistling Ellie in this. You get her trying to whistle. You get them at the college. You get him telling her he wanted to sing. You see the monkeys. You see the lab with the monkeys. They did several things in here. Bob was like, yeah, okay. This is... All right. I was like, as a gamer and a person that played the game, I was happy with a lot of what I saw. So they run into the dudes there. Now, before, they had also run into clickers and other stuff. They didn't run in it. They didn't have to do no stuff with the generators, plugging nothing in. But they ran into them dudes, and we got Joel choking the dude out. We found okay. I was hyped. You all know how I am. I was hyped. All right, Joel choking. That's right, get it. All right. She had the gun, and after he takes out one of the dudes, he stabbed him with a broken baseball bat. So jab. Joel is stabbed at this point, bleeding out. She's like, Joel, get on the horse. And they start riding. The rest of the dudes start coming. And Ellie's shooting at them. I was like, okay, this is a real good badass moment. I like this. So, they're walking along on a horse, and just like in the game, he falls off, and she's like begging him and crying. I can't remember if that happened in the game. Like, she's like, I can't do this without you. She's crying. I know I just played that part, but I played it like a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago, something like that. And I'm going to catch up, but I didn't want to go too far ahead of the show because I wanted to kind of compare it in, the game versus the show, and I wanted to keep it fresh in my mind. And I know a lot of you said, no, compare it. I'll do what I want to do. Thank you. That rhymed. I had to play the game. Bars! You watch it how you want to watch it. I watch it how I want to watch it. So yeah. So I think we're going to get, then of course cuts to black. So I think we're going to get Ellie doing her thing in the next one. And maybe even the whole machete part. So we'll see. You know what I mean? I'm going to give this episode 4 out of 5. Woo! Post comments down below. Let me know what you all thought, if you enjoyed my review. Hit the like button, subscribe, and share. Matter of fact, go watch the reaction, which is on Patreon and YouTube memberships, whichever you prefer to choose. I may have missed some things, but I'm a satisfied guy with this. 10 million subscribers. Woo!